Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. I've here this 2021 Toyota Tundra SR5 and the owner decided that she needs an engine oil and filter change. If you want to see how easy or difficult it is, stay with me in this video. I will think it's easy, but just this morning, reading your comments underneath a different video, somebody said there, really, that he sold his Tundra, he got rid of it because it was difficult to maintain. So let's go and see. I made sure I have all the OEM original Toyota oil and parts, everything is here. You can even see the gift from this owner of this Tundra, his subscriber of this channel. So he made this for me. I really appreciate it. It was really nice gesture from him. So let's go and give this baby the utmost perfect care. I start feeling like I'm living in my own cage without connection to the outside world. I never saw this kind of instrument cluster the way it's organized before. I guess I really only work on the old cars and trucks. You saw in the instrument cluster that low mileage. I explained in the previous video why he thinks the oil should be changed. So there's nothing much here to do. I normally pull the engine oil dipstick slightly so there will be no vacuum in the engine when it's draining. Here is the filler, the same. Normally I will open it and let it sit this way, kind of open, halfway open. Nothing can fall in it, but it will drain way better. Engine is warm, so it's a perfect time to do that engine oil and filter change. So she's up in the air safely. Now, where is our engine oil pan? It should be right here, correct? So that should be very easy to get to the drain plug, which is right here. There is no any skid plate in our way. Let's have a tour before. How often we have here in the shop truck which is basically brand new with 900 miles on it. Look at this beauty, look at it, look at it. Anytime I come back here, you guys tell me, check the breather if it's loose. It is loose. I'm happy to report. So let's go back and see what is in the way of that filter housing. Look, these heat shields, isn't this something? Wow, so new, so new. So engine oil pan drain plug. And here is a skid plate, which is surprisingly open here on the side. So we can see right there, it's an oil filter housing. We have to remove this baby. And I don't want to just swing away this skid plate. For the purpose of filming, I want to remove it. So I will remove here 3 10mm bolts, which these are screws actually, which are holding the skid plate to this front plastic. I will normally obviously use the power tool, but that will make too much noise for the camera. So here is the third one. Especially the very next step, and that will be 12mm bolts holding it. So switch to 12mm, and anytime you hit those with a power tool, this really rattles super loud. I don't want you to lose your hearing. So here is one. Here is another one. You can see them loosening, and there is 2 more, right? So it's here. I'm just showing you where it is. I will have to move the camera a little bit backwards. And this is what I will just get out. one more in the middle. Alright. And now it's hanging there on the hooks. And not to damage anything, I move it away. I took the skid plate and moved it towards to you. Do you see that hook? That's where it was sitting. Some people will remove these last three, those 12 millimeters, and they will just tilt it away because they are in a hurry. They are at the dealership or elsewhere, they are rushing it. But you start bending all of this, and they might damage these hooks and so on. So I rather take it completely off. Despite the fact I hate to deal with those, I rather remove it, and especially on this brand new. Before I will forget, here is the detail of this hooks of this skid plate, correct? So this how we move it towards to the driver's side, and we had those 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 12 millimeter bolts holding it up. Now I realize that for us Toyota automotive geeks, there is absolutely incredible opportunity to see how will look engine oil on brand new Tundra with 5.7 liter after only 900 miles of use. So I will not draining in the caddy. I will clean, I will polish this baby so we can really evaluate and see together how looks such a oil. So we all know those drain plugs are 14 millimeter socket. So I have it ready here. Now I have to pay attention. There will be coming with a force of its weight 8.5 quarts of the oil. So I hope I will not have that pressure to shooting it all over around. I hope this will go flawlessly, but let's see. 900 miles only. Unbelievable, isn't it? And here we go. Synthetic 0W20 coming out. I think I got lucky. The crush washer blue one is still sticking to the pan. That's okay. We will replace it later. And it's nicely coming out. And do you think it's clear like when it was brand new? Of course not. I have gloves and I'm dirty, otherwise I will already bring you closer to it. But let's do it right now. I can hopefully not make my stuff full of oil. So you can see it's not heavily burned. It shouldn't be, correct? It's pretty good shape, but it already was losing its color due to the combustion and use of the engine. So I want to do it for this subscriber and the owner as good as possible. So I will let it drip. Only after that we will be closing it and focusing on this engine oil filter housing. Look how fast and what volume is still coming out. This is at least 10 minutes after we open that. Look how much oil keeps coming out in that pan. This is a big advantage he brought it here. So I'm filming it. I have plenty of time today reserved for filming this truck. We will get most of the oil out. Do you think any oil stop, which has 5 minutes to do entire oil change, do you think they will wait around for it to get out? No way. While it is running, you can see that filter which was in that package. Pretty cool. There are 2 O-rings, and this is the drain the filter housing drain adapter. You can use it today. In this video on the back you can see correct positioning of the gasket which you are replacing. Everything is written here, including how to do that entire procedure. So I really waited for him as a special star for like 20 minutes. It almost stopped dripping. Now I'm installing the drain plug in this steel oil pan, engine oil pan, and that torque is 39 Newton meters with that new blue crush washer. And look at that. After 800 miles, how to get that shine off from those skylights. Look at it. It is already contaminated. It's definitely not clear and transparent as it comes when it's brand new. I will keep this for the owner so he can see it himself right here. Now let's see how supposed to be the usage of this adapter. It's a drain adapter. So Toyota gives it to you you can drain the oil which is inside of this housing and purely theoretically make less spill. And it's that 3/8 size, and that should, yeah, you see it actually correctly. It popped only that aluminum bottom instead of unscrewing that entire filter. I will back off. I don't want to have any splatter, as I said, on this camera, but I want to show it to you. We normally skip it. We don't play with this. We open the whole housing. There will be always tiny bit amount of the oil coming out, but now I need to take this adapter and basically force it inside and it will drain that whole housing. So let's see. Click and look at it. Alright, so this is how the factory designed this, and you might like to do it that way. I am skipping it, and that's because I work at the dealer and we didn't have a time for this extra step. Now again, if you want to use the advantage of this system, you have to wait again because it will keep flowing. Now it stopped dripping, so you are supposed to pull that adapter out. It came out with that old rubber O-ring. I hope you can see it. It's sticking to it. So that's all throwaway because we were supplied with the new rubber O-ring. So now you need to install the new rubber O-ring right here. After you squeezed it into place, you will close this little drain to the 12 Newton meters. So basically the torque is very small. The Toyota says don't over torque it because the O-ring itself will make sure that it's not leaking. And I guess you start slowly seeing why we will skip that. This is the oil filter range for these Toyotas. You can buy it at the dealer or aftermarket. It nicely fits on the bottom of this plastic housing. Please don't use channel lock pliers or anything. You will just damage that entire part. They are not very tight. It's 25 Newton meters. But still, in very beginning, to break it loose, it needs a certain amount of torque, and not using the right tools. It's made of plastic, you will damage it, and we will have a harder time in future deal with it. So just if you own the Toyota, get this filter. Now you see we have zero oil coming out, so that little procedure we did avoided right now having the oil all over my hands and the fingers. That's all what it was for. So this is that entire part I have lowered from there. So you just simply remove that filter element. I continue with replacing the gasket, and as we said, that box was showing clearly to put it in the correct groove, which is right here and not all the way down, because that will start leaking right away. So I place the new gasket, supply it, rubber O-ring gasket in its groove, always lube it with its oil. I will reach for that new filter element. That can be either way. You don't need to worry if it's this direction or this direction. It just goes either way. It popped on it and it's ready to be installed in the vehicle. So here we go. Nicely catch the thread. And as I said, this doesn't need to be torqued too much. It's a 25 Newton meters, which is pretty low, because that seal is achieved by that rubber O-ring. Now, clean up, especially on this brand new truck. First, I need to get it underneath here. And then I will be engaging those hooks. So I pull a little bit on that. And there are these large openings. It's 2 of them. Oh yeah, and it's already hooked and I can rest it. I can grab my extension with a 12mm socket. And maybe I can start with that rear bolt right here. So I have it ready. I see the thread. And I will just sketch a few threads on that. Just a confirmation, everything is perfectly here. Up here in the engine bay, I will remove this filler plug. Always a little bit clean around it, make it super dry. And I will screw on this funnel. That will eliminate any possible spillage. And this truck, such a new truck, deserves OEM Toyota full synthetic oil. So as we said, it's AW20. Excuse me, it's a 0W20 and it's a 8.5 quarts for this engine. If you didn't replace the oil filter, it will be only 8 quarts. I don't know anybody who does that. Look how transparent and clear. It's not even honey. It's almost like a yellow brake fluid. So transparent. So you can definitely see the difference between the oil which came out and the one we are pouring in. Let me show you another pour, way more as a closeout. Do you see how clear it is? Incredible, isn't it? 8.5 quarts later, I can remove this funnel, wipe off everything again, because I keep overdoing everything. Put this down so there's no spillage of oil anywhere. Yep, this is it. Not forget to reinstall, push all the way in the dipstick. And I will check the tire pressures, fill up the windshield wiper reservoir, install the windshield sticker reminder, and reset the maintenance in the cabin. And then I will go for test drive. And only then I'm done with this service. So I hope you enjoy it. I think it was exciting to see oil in brand new engine after only 900 miles. That's pretty cool. We can see the difference. It was contaminated already. So I hope you are excited like me, and if you like it, give it a thumb up, right? And be subscribed, because I will keep filming a lot of videos for you soon. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, my friend.